Welcome to Pro Flight Paddle. I am Patty Hogan alongside the one and only Cindy Prendergast out of Canoe Brook Country Club. We are in Summit, New Jersey, and we are joining the action here on our first feature match of the night. Cindy Prendergast, brand new to the broadcast booth, and Cracker Nut player and scorekeeper. Welcome, Cindy.
Well, thank you, Patty. Thanks for having me. And this is a great turnout at the Canoe Brook Club. Great membership following and interesting weather, but these players have all played in it before, so we should see some really great action.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private, your legacy, our discipline.
Yeah, so Cindy, let's talk about the weather a little bit. We've had this storm going through all day today, heavy rains, and it's let up a little bit here at Canoe Brook finally. Our fingers were crossed that we would be ready to go by 7 o'clock. We have some of the most outstanding names in the field here tonight and among the men and women. And what strikes me about this field tonight in particular, it's, you know, these players who have been around the game for a long time combined with some of the new bright faces in the game, Cindy. And why don't you tell us about the players that we're seeing out here on the court?
Okay, on the left side in the white we have Vanessa Petrini, and Vanessa hails from northern New Jersey, and she's just had off a really great win with Lynn Caro at the Lake Tournament. It's nice to see that new duo. And in the backhand, just hit that ball, is Charlotte Sikora. She is from Philadelphia, and she plays with Allison Morgan out of Chicago. And then on the right-hand side, a pretty established team. In the forehand side, we have Carrie Delmonico and Lauren Gebbia. And they have had a couple really good years, very experienced team together. On the left-hand side, Charlotte and Vanessa are playing together for the first time. So let's see how that affects the match.
Yeah, and Cindy, the court has dried out, and there's the heaters are running, and we are in the second game of this match. Who won the first game?
Delmonico and Gebbia.
Delmonico and Gebbia, semifinalists in nationals. They've grinded as a team. Carrie Delmonico, one of the game's more outstanding players. She won nationals in 2005 with Isla Maine, and they beat the one and only team of Prendergast and Zink, if you recall that, Cindy.
I do.
Carrie was a finalist with Isla in 2006, losing to Hall of Famers Doughton and Keene. She was the mixed champion with her husband Mike Stulak in 2005. Again, I hate to mention, but Cindy,
thank you for
all
this,
kidding aside, we were looking up, some information on these players, and, someone like a Carrie, she's been around the game a long time, a national champion, outstanding tactician in the game, and
I think what's interesting about the Gebbia Delmonico team is that they are both really good on each side, and they are experimenting with each of them playing the backhand and the forehand, and I'm not sure if they've come up with the perfect formula, but it's pretty neat that they're able to do both.
That's a great observation, Cindy. You are currently playing with Lauren Zink. You guys have national titles, both in the Platform Tennis Hall of Fame, two of the most distinguished paddle careers of any players I know. You have the respect and awe of every single player, and I love your insights to the game, and I think the point about playing both sides, when you played with Lauren, when you played with me, you were, always in everyone's category of one of the most phenomenal deuce court players. You had that return to serve. You just knew the game. You were rock solid at all times.
That's really nice, Patty. I don't remember it that way, but
I remember it fondly.
I remember my partners being awesome. But
No. It's always a team out here, but now with the game, and I think the athleticism and the skill and. The game is so exciting, and you do need different options as a team. And when you can switch around on the baseline, I remember we used to do that sometimes when things were going south. We're like, what do? You try everything. You throw in the kitchen sink. And so, here's Delmonico and Gebbia. They can take out most teams in the country, Cindy.
Yes.
But they're struggling a little bit to get to that last step, to get over the finish line this year. And so that's probably why they're looking experimenting with different sides of the courts.
Exactly. And I'm looking here, and I'm noticing for the first time that Lauren Gebbia is doing the underhand serve. I didn't notice that the last tournament, so she's experimenting with that as well.
And I think, all the credit to Lauren to bring that to the game.
Yes.
and you see that underhand or sidearm serve, and a lot of times it's a little easier for taller players to do it.
I believe that's 2-1, Delmonico Gebbia.
Okay.
At Veritext, it's not just a deposition. It's the witness that will win your trial. It's the reason you became a lawyer. It's your first case as a partner. It's that case that will make you partner. It's for the families who lost something. It's for that groundbreaking patent. It's for one of the largest companies in the world, or one of the smallest. It's something that will change someone's life forever. At Veritext, it's never just a deposition. We understand it's so much more.
Okay, here's Charlotte to serve. Oh, she's going overhead.
Given the weather conditions, we do not have an umpire, and so Cindy Prendergast will do the combination of keeping score,
Bear with me.
calling the lines. It's hard to call foot faults from in here, Cindy, in the warmth of this great paddle hut at Canoe Brook.
I tell you, there's some really hardy fans here because the weather is not so great outside, but that's paddle.
So Sikora serving to Delmonico, returning out of that at
Ooh.
court, and you could just see that ball just take off, hit, then took a skid.
So, Patty, if you're a club player, how do you defend against a serve when it's skiddy like that?
I try to hit the power on the lights so that my opponent can't see the toss. But that usually doesn't work for long. I think you see right there, Carrie adjusted. She tried to just shorten her stroke a tiny bit,
Yep.
throw up a lob, get that ball back in play. I think a lot of times you'll see players will flatten out their stroke, a little
Okay.
shorter backswing, a little shorter follow through.
Is it like the one time that topspin doesn't really necessarily help
It
you?
is the one time that topspin doesn't help. You know, and it's part of the game, Cindy. We've played a million matches in the rain, not our favorite.
Oh boy.
But I think, I think the court will dry up. I think the rain looks like it's mostly stopping. And so I think in about a half hour we'll probably be pretty dry out here.
Oh boy. It's slick out there.
Really slick, and that was a tough serve on any conditions. Dry or not, that just went right into Sikora's body.
Carrie is known for her serve too. I mean, she has pinpoint accuracy, deep, always a tough serve.
Yeah, and you talk about the competitive nature that Delmonico, we know her well, and we've seen her up close and personal for years, and just, if there's someone out here who's going to find a way to
Yes.
adjust to the circumstances,
Absolutely.
it's Carrie. Beautiful serve up the middle. So Vanessa Petrini teaches in the Chatham Summit, all around, a lot of clubs, a lot of different places.
Really nice to see her back playing paddle and seeming to enjoy with her new partner. That's great.
Yeah, Petrini has a lot of talent, and, a lot of time big hitters from tennis, when they come over to paddle, it's frustrating to make that transition and realize, you've got to wait a little bit. You've got to wait for it in this sport. And the winners that you can hit on a tennis court just don't present themselves out here on the paddle court. And, I think she's working through that adjustment period. And, I think Vanessa's got a huge upside to the game. And it's just if she can embrace, grinding it out and practicing and playing, because you got to practice.
What? Tell me about Vanessa's background. Is she another Rutgers girl, or?
She is from Romania.
Okay, so she didn't go to college right here?
She may have.
Okay.
She may have. Let me go. I'm going to ask her that. I can't recall where she played. But you can see she's got the hand. She's got a lot of skills. She worked with Dave Broderick over at Short Hills Club for a couple years.
Okay.
Teaches at a whole bunch of different clubs in the area. Oh, and you can see the Sakura cutter right there,
Yeah.
Cindy.
Now, Charlotte hails from France, and she's a very accomplished tennis player. Been playing paddle now for a few years, and she has an amazing skill set. And I think she and Allison have not, Allison Morgan out of Chicago, have not had a lot of times to play together. Charlotte was hurt the first part of the season, but I think their last tournament they were very happy with. They had great matches against the top teams, and I think they'll be a force at Short Hills.
Sure, I think in the current rankings, I believe they're 7th in the country.
Yep.
And this field includes, Gabby Nicolescu, who's in the top 10, Flora Hanisch in the top 10, Delmonico and Gebbia as a team. Currently, I believe, number 2 in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Sakura is finishing up a great run at Radley Run outside of Philly. Working there as in their tennis and paddle programs, done a great job, and now is going to be a bit of a free agent for a while. She's passionate about the game, passionate about teaching, and
I talked to her, and as much as she loves teaching tennis, and she does, she really loves teaching paddle. She gets a lot of enjoyment out of it. So I think this next year she's going to focus on teaching more paddle if she can. That's a good volley by Lauren.
really good hands. One of the things I'm curious about in seeing Sakura this year, when I have seen her the few times, is her playing that ad court and really going to the Mary Doughton look, the setup on the two-handed backhand, Cindy.
Yes.
That's
nerve-wracking.
Yeah, and she seems to be not looking to hit her. I thought she had a pretty good forehand return to serve.
She does.
But I don't see that she's going to it right now.
I've played her a few times, and I feel you're correct. I think she leans towards her backhand, but yet she does have a very good forehand. Well, look at that serve. That was interesting. When you have weather conditions like this, sometimes the players don't get to hit their shots they're most comfortable with, and Lauren Gebbia takes the ball off the deck so well. It's just a little harder to do with this weather.
Right, her style of play is far more successful on a real dry court.
I agree.
Her ability to adapt to the conditions, as a player, we've not seen that so much. She tends to go with her she's got her plan and she's going to go with it. But I think she's around this game long enough now that she's, learning to adapt to the game, and her serve is a great illustration of that.
I think that puts Delmonico Gebbia up 5-2.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. P-PAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
Vanessa's vest out there is pretty sharp, I will say.
The gold standard.
Yes.
I'm liking that overhead from Sakura.
Yes.
I like the paddle prep, Cindy. A lot of action, a lot of spin. You can see how that ball just came out of the corner, and tough for Gebbia to put that ball in play. What a phenomenal lob. And that's, the big progression in Gebbia's game, I think,
agree.
over the last couple of years. I mean, she's become a screen star. She gets out there and she can grind things, and who would have thought she won it with she forced an error because of a great lob. You just didn't say that 3 years ago about Lauren Gebbia.
And I think the other huge improvement is her overhead. She's got some nice spin on it.
She started bringing in that spin, working on it, headed to Darien Nationals a couple years ago, Cindy, and it's so nice to see that she trusts it and trusts the spin.
Right.
Good little lob. Petrini forced that overhead, and when you're pushed back and there's nowhere to go, sometimes you just got to lay off that overhead. Just try to push the ball deep. You know, there's Gebbia just ripping the returns, taking over the net. We've seen this for a long time.
That might be the first set. Delmonico, Gebbia. You know, I feel like the Vanessa Charlotte team might be just pushing a little bit, you know, because having not played with each other.
Sure, they haven't played, and Vanessa's not played high-level competitive paddle, and there's totally a lot to, you know, it's a totally different game. And Gebbia and Delmonico, you know, cleaned up their unforced errors. I wouldn't even say there were unforced errors early in that set, just forced errors because of the conditions. Now the conditions are improving on the court, it's drying up, and we'll look for a cleaner second set. I was thinking Dave Broderick was going to join us, Cindy, and take my place for a little bit, but he's dancing with his nephew, James, back there. So I think we'll just keep going.
Always enjoy time with you, Patty.
Always. Nothing better, Cindy.
Friday night,
That's
under
right.
the lights.
That's right. And they're the ones getting wet.
Yeah.
And they're running around.
It's nice to be in the skybox. I don't know how you scored it.
Totally, Cindy. We've earned the skybox, and what a shot from Delmonico going back there. You can see she's fired up. She's got the hometown crowds around. She plays nearby out of the Short Hills Club, and
You know, she's playing cup paddle for Short Hills, having some interesting matches.
oh yeah. You know, I think the thing about this with Sikora and Petrini, they don't know each other's strengths
Exactly.
so
Right.
much.
Right.
And you can see, just as a team, even though each player can be phenomenal individually, they have to sort of figure out a plan here.
And then add in the weather. You
Yeah.
know.
So it's really, you know, that was a great lob up the line, forced the error from Gebbia. So that's a start, Cindy.
Yes.
But Delmonico,
Here's
you know,
that serve. Ooh,
really
nice return,
one of-
Vanessa.
you know, when you talk about like the best of this or the best of that, I just think Delmonico's have one of the most effective serves.
I agree.
You know, her percentage hold rate, if we ever kept track of it, would be extraordinary, I think, over her career.
Wow, this is a great point, Patty.
Really good point.
It's the best tonight, I think. Great gets, great offense, great defense. Oh, nicely done, ladies.
Yeah, it's just tough, and there's a lot of heat, and maybe Sikora could have played that off the, you know, gotten an offensive shot off the screen on that shot, actually.
That's twice now. Charlotte's lobbed down the line effectively.
Yep, and we jinxed Carrie. I said she never, you know, she has an incredible hold rate, so that's all that has to happen. Oh, there's Dave Broderick now, Cindy.
He's done dancing for a while, at least.
So this is the first game of the second set. I'll hand off to Dave here. Cindy, you go. Dave, welcome to the booth.
First game goes to Delmonica Gebbia. They won the first set 6-2. Dave's jumping in.
Patty, thank you. Cindy, how are you?
I'm great, Dave. So nice to see you tonight.
Good to see you.
I hear things are going great at your club.
Fiddler's Elbow is great. Love it there. We're growing. We're building a paddle program out there, which is really good.
4 courts?
We do have 4, but we're in the process of trying to get a couple more.
Really?
Yeah, we're hoping to get it to 8 at some point.
Wow.
We want to get to 8 courts. And it looks like tonight Pro Flight Paddles turning into a nice night. It looks like the rain stopped. The crowd's still pouring in. And should wind up being it might be a late night, but it's going to be a fun night.
Well, you know, this is a good group, a great membership, and great sponsors, so we're lucky to have everybody here. So we were talking, Dave, that with Vanessa and Charlotte playing for the first time together, I feel like they're feeling a little pressured.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kerry and Lauren's an amazing team. You know, they're
Yep.
a great team, and they're going to put pressure on you. I don't know how much for all four of them the weather affected, maybe trying to go for some shots that they normally wouldn't go to try to get the ball to skid or
Right.
to try to create a mistake early. But I think if the court starts drying out a little bit, I think it's going to be a really good second set.
I agree with you.
Oh, I think Charlotte saved one there. But the points are already, they're starting to get longer.
More lobbing.
More lobbing. Again, I think the court's drying out and they don't have to worry about the ball skidding as much as they did earlier in the night. As we said earlier, it's turning into a beautiful New Jersey night.
As only you would know.
Is there such thing as a beautiful New Jersey night? We're still in New Jersey.
I drove up from Delaware. Weather wasn't much better there. Oh, boy, that's a lot of offense.
Yeah, and I think they saved a couple balls there. And to your point from earlier, I think Vanessa and Charlotte are feeling a little out in front, jumpy a little bit, if you can use the term jumpy.
Yes, they're just trying to do
Right.
a little bit too much.
Instead of let that ball come to them and take their time. And
But as you said, it's already a different set. What do you think about Lauren's new serve?
yeah, it's, if she's confident with it, then that's all that matters.
Yep.
And, if she's going to the underhand serve or the sidearm serve, then, there must be a reason. She wants to be confident with it. And I don't know if it's stopping Charlotte and Vanessa from teeing off and
Right.
taking swings at it. But you know what? To start the point, she's got to be confident before anything.
Well, it's consistently in,
Right.
and it's deep.
Right?
I
Yeah.
like that. All these girls have such great returns.
That's a tough one when you miss back-to-back returns.
At Veritext, it's not just a deposition. It's the witness that will win your trial. It's the reason you became a lawyer. It's your first case as a partner. It's that case that will make you partner. It's for the families who lost something. It's for that groundbreaking patent. It's for one of the largest companies in the world, or one of the smallest. It's something that will change someone's life forever. At Veritext, it's never just a deposition. We understand it's so much more.
We were commenting earlier how Carrie and Lauren have been experimenting with playing each side, and so tonight Lauren's in the backhand, and she has a lot of offense out of that.
Yeah, and I think with Kerry over there in the forehand side, that lets her be creative. It lets her set things up. It lets her open the court up. I think, believe it or not, it gives her a lot more opportunities to make things happen from the forehand side. What do they say? You put the artiste in the forehand side? And she's certainly an artist out there.
She is.
She knows every shot has a purpose. She knows where she's lobbing. She knows where the ball's going next. And, and if Lauren could just stay over there on the backhand side and bomb away, I think that's going to be a tough combination for future teams that play them.
Yep, I agree. Having moved from New York City to the Short Hills area, Carrie's been a great addition as far as helping some of the local players improve. She has so much experience, so much knowledge to share, and she's been doing it.
Yeah, and she's in the area, so it's
Yep.
time. She has time to do it now, and it's good having her out here. I get to see her. She comes out to Fiddler's Elbow and takes golf lessons
Yeah,
out
she
there
loves playing golf out there.
with our director of golf, George Dietz.
Yeah, she said he was amazing. And then, of course, she's married to Mike Stulak, who is a Hall of Famer, national champion.
Absolutely.
He's fun to watch as well.
One of, if not the greatest sportsman in the game.
Yes, no question. Not a great putter, though, I'm sad to say. For all the hand-eye he has in paddle, I'm shocked. Of course, I'm worse than him. Good point.
And again, I think Vanessa and Charlotte, they're in the points, but then they're trying to go for too much. I think the patience level just has to.
Really nice return by Vanessa.
No, she's kind of an unknown.
Great job by Charlotte.
Vanessa worked with me for several years at Short Hills Club. We're back together again, working a little bit out at Fiddler's Elbow.
Oh, is that right?
And you know, she's a good player. She just, you know, she hasn't played a lot of events, and
she just won the Lake tournament.
She did win the Lake tournament.
Yep.
She's got the game. She's. Most people don't know this, but she was an All-American tennis player when she was at Rutgers.
I thought she played at Rutgers.
Yep.
I didn't realize she was an All-American.
Yeah, no, she was one of the best women's Division I college tennis players.
Wow. You could see it with her returns.
Yeah, no, she has the strokes. She just has to take the tennis and put it into paddle. That's some volley.
That is some volley. That's great offense.
Just to
by
keep the
Charlotte.
point going. And now they're showing a little bit different look with Lauren in the forehand side and Kerry in the backhand.
It's great that they feel so comfortable on each side, and that's a real asset.
I think Vanessa and Charlotte just have to be careful that they're not putting that ball into Lauren's forehand.
Right.
There's only
There
so
we
many
go.
of them you're going to get away with.
Great point.
Really good point, and I think that was a good choice by Kerry. Just missed it a little low.
Great lob. Charlotte's been lobbing really well tonight.
It's good on the line. Really good close.
Yeah, she set herself up.
Made a great decision. Took a little bit of a risk. Got on top of the net on a lob over Lauren and Kerry's head, but paid off.
3-2, Delmonico, Gebbia. They won the first set 6-2.
They're playing. They're keeping score. The Pro Flight Paddle. It's a community event.
Some other great matches going on too, I must say. Talent out here is amazing.
Yeah, and it looks like there are 3 courts going. There's going to be action going on all night long.
You know, as a spectator, what I find so great, especially on the men's side, is Drew really mixes it up. So you get to see some pairings that you just don't see during the tournaments.
And I think the good thing, just, you know, even going back 4 years ago when Drew had the vision of Pro Flight, was, you know, he wanted to basically create quarterfinal national matches in the first round. And because, again, at the end of the day, it's good practice for everyone that's here. They get to play in with members and guests before the event. There's a little bit of a round robin with the pros. And, you know, it's just really good matches. And it's, at the end of the day, this is not a tournament. It's an event.
Right.
It's not I mean, it is an exhibition, but, you know, it's more for the members and the guests to come out and see really good paddle different players playing with different people and just watching really good matchups.
Well, I mean, it's not even that nice a night, and there are tons of people out here watching. So,
Well, you know what? It hasn't been that nice of 2 days here in New Jersey.
right.
And every pro that committed to coming out and playing is here, and they're playing.
Right.
And even before, during the round robin, there was some rain, a little sleet, and, nobody said, no, I'm not going out there to play. Whether they put their jacket on, their hood on, whatever they did, but they got out there and they played, and it's a really good event.
It's really a spirit of paddle and
Absolutely.
and giving back. And
Plus, Cindy, most people don't know this, but back in the day, you actually played in the rain, right?
that's right.
Whoever stopped, with the weather delays and canceling tournaments and matches for rain? Isn't it a winter foul weather game? I think that's what I was told when I first signed up. And I played my first ever match in the pouring rain at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning.
Did you ever play on a wooden court?
I did. I played on a wooden court in Seabright.
Well, that was really fun to play on in the bad weather.
With dry weather, you get a few funny bounces. Imagine what I'm sure it's fun in the wet weather.
We had a mixed event in the Delaware area last weekend, and we had a big storm prior. Everybody was out knocking off ice, working the courts, cleaning the courts, and the event went off. There was no way it was going to be canceled. It was really, really fun.
I think there's one little bit of inexperience. I think Vanessa's got to actually let that ball go off the screen, and I think she could turn that into a driving opportunity there. I'll tell you, at the end of the day, no matter win, lose, draw, whatever happens in this match, I got to be honest, Carrie and Lauren are volleying really well.
They really are. Ooh.
I mean, that's
Wow.
an amazing volley. Not only to stay in the point, but then they win it.
Yeah. Well,
What do you think? That almost counts as two, maybe? Just because you think you may have won that point, now all of a sudden.
Right, in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. P-PAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
I think this first point's going to be a big point. Carrie's it. She's ready to roll there.
I just feel, Dave, that Charlotte and Vanessa are just putting some pressure on you. The tide has changed. Oh, great return by Lauren.
And I was going to say they're keeping more balls in play. They're making Carrie and Lauren hit more balls. And, again, I teach, I talk to people about paddle, and you know what? If you make the other team hit 100 balls, they could possibly miss 100.
Yep.
If you only make them hit 30, they can't miss 100. So I think the more balls they're forcing them to hit, there's pressure on every shot.
I'm not sure there's enough of that.
And you know yourself from playing that, win, lose, or draw, every time the ball comes back to you, you're not worried about the person that's hitting winners hard. You're worried about the person that never misses, because you
Right.
know that every time they hit it, you've got to come up with a shot.
How many times do you play the sometimes perceived stronger player, but the one that makes more mistakes?
Right, sooner,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
They have the earlier shot clock.
Yeah.
That was a really good setup with Vanessa in the backhand over there. She just missed that forehand drive. They're having a little trouble with the score. Should we send the signal out at 15:30? They seem to have sorted it out there. On that first return of serve, I'd like to see Vanessa staying on top of the net. It looks like she's backing away a little bit.
Yeah, especially against Lauren, right?
Right. I mean, because, again, Lauren is going to drive first, lob second.
Right.
Against Kerry, you know what? If you think she's going to lob it, start back.
Right.
Why stay up there and then back up? Because now she's moving the volley. Good cutoff there. Big point here. Oh. I think she'd like to have that shot back.
Yes.
Still seems to appear the ball's skidding a little bit, making the returns a little bit harder. But again, it looks like the rain has kind of stopped for most of it.
Kind of interested. I've been watching Charlotte play her tournaments this year, and she's been using the underhand serve, but tonight she's going with the overhand serve. I don't know if that's weather related or she's just feeling more comfortable.
I think, again, like Vanessa, I think this ball, I think she's got to hit that ball back straight to Kerry. You know, I don't think she should be taking that ball from one side of the court and giving Lauren free drives with her off the net. I think if, you know, Kerry's got a big forehand as well, but at least you can contain it by going straight ahead.
Right.
That ball goes cross court. They're moving. And again, you watch Kerry, and every shot she hits has a purpose.
Yes, for sure. She's so experienced and always been a great strategic player.
See, again, like that shot, I think that's what they had to do. Whether Lauren made it or not, they can volley that ball. But if they were to hit that one back cross court to Kerry again, it's opening the court.
Right.
At least by going straight on those deep balls, it allows them to contain it. Yeah, I think Vanessa's getting a little excited. She's got to make them hit it. Cindy, it looks like we have a three serving five.
Three serving five. Yep. I think we're seeing the points that we thought we would see.
Yep.
That's a tough shot by Kerry.
And I think being the experienced team, Kerry and Lauren are just looking to win each point.
That's a big return
Yeah.
by Sakura.
And again,
Oh, no ad.
Yeah. And again, set point number one.
Oh, second set goes to Sakura Petrini. Wow, what a different set that was.
Yeah, and I think, you know, again, I think with Lauren wants to play a little bit more up-tempo. Kerry's willing to play a little bit more up-tempo. You know, but I think just the way they play and for their styles of play, I think Charlotte and Vanessa want a little bit more of a slower game.
Yes, in this case, for sure.
And I think even in the second set, again, I watched the first set, and they looked like they forced it a little bit, where the second set, they took their time, they didn't rush, and they hit the best shot that they could hit. And it was, if Kerry and Lauren made it, they made it. And if they won a point, they won a point. But they weren't trying to make things happen. They were taking their time, hitting good, solid shots, and it paid off for them.
And just having played a set with each other.
At Veritext, it's not just a deposition. It's the witness that will win your trial. It's the reason you became a lawyer. It's your first case as a partner. It's that case that will make you partner. It's for the families who lost something. It's for that groundbreaking patent. It's for one of the largest companies in the world, or one of the smallest. It's something that will change someone's life forever. At Veritext, it's never just a deposition. We understand it's so much more.
Vanessa to start. Vanessa Petrini.
And I think that's one area, like I said, knowing Vanessa as well as I know her, You know, she struggles with her serve a little bit, but I think it's more of an issue of just she's not confident in what she's doing. Just listen, you're a phenomenal tennis player. You know how to serve. Just do it. Don't think, what if I miss? Don't worry about that. Don't miss. Just hit a good, solid shot. Vanessa's screenplay is getting better. And again, it's just, as we talked about earlier, once in a while you see her shot clock. She gets a little excited, maybe tries to go for a little too much. But, you know, I think if she starts playing more and plays some of the bigger events, I think she could be a name that we're going to see more of out there. And by the way, Charlotte is just bombing her backhand.
Oh, man. She crushes it.
So we have 1 serving 2 here in the third set of the Pro Flight Breaker. It's 1 set each. Lauren and Kerry.
This is what you hope for.
This is it, right? This is like overtime. Free paddle, free paddle.
Oh, that's a good get by Gebbia. Ooh.
That was a really good get. All right, so it's 2-all here in the third set tiebreaker. Charlotte Sakura serving. We're in the third set.
That's a
good choice. Good
really
first
good
volley.
Choice.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
This is Vanessa's first ever Pro Flight Paddle event. And, you know, I think there may have been some nerves out there. It's a big crowd. It's, you know, it's an elite field of players. You have Hall of Famers here. You have national champions here. You have just a lot of the best players in platform tennis right now. And it just looks like they're getting a little bit more confident and they're playing better.
Well, they're running away with it right now, 5-2. But I wouldn't count.
I was going to say, but we know this could be 12-5 before you blink. Yep. That's how platform tennis is. Even at 5-2, there can't be a giveaway point. I think even for Vanessa and Charlotte, I think, you know what, if they were to lose a point somewhere here, I think it can't be a free one. They've got to make them work. You got to because you don't want that momentum switching. You don't want the confidence to sway at all.
Okay, we have a switch. Delmonico to serve. Delmonico, Gebbia are down 3-6. 15-point tiebreaker.
And again, with the Pro Flight, there we go. You fault, you get a let cord. Here we go.
Here we go. 4-6.
It's when you start playing the Jaws theme music. And again, I think going back to what I was talking about before, that being down 6-3 in the 15-point tiebreaker, you're still in it. You're still, you put a point here, you put a point there, and you're back. But it looks like it's now
7-4.
7-4.
Yep.
Charlotte Sakura to serve. Back-to-back fault, 7-5. Again, those are just free giveaway points that, as the team in the lead, you just don't want to change that momentum. Don't make them work. Make them work.
At Veritext, it's not just a deposition. It's the witness that will win your trial. It's the reason you became a lawyer. It's your first case as a partner. It's that case that will make you partner. It's for the families who lost something. It's for that groundbreaking patent. It's for one of the largest companies in the world, or one of the smallest. It's something that will change someone's life forever. At Veritext, it's never just a deposition. We understand it's so much more.
That's an amazing volley, by the way.
Wow.
Let's remember that volley if they come back and win this
To
tiebreaker.
make it 7-all.
Yeah.
To make it 7-all. That was really tough. Okay. Big point here.
And I think that's the difference, even with when Lauren's serving with the underhand. It's one thing to hit the ball hard, but I think especially off Charlotte's backhand, she's really spotting the ball well. Mm-hmm. She's not just swinging and wherever it goes, it goes. She's picking her spots, and she's found a couple of openings to drive the ball through them and get to the net. In a normal, dry, beautiful New Jersey night, I don't know if being at the net is an advantage, but I think with a little bit of weather, I think it could be. So those are really good drives.
I agree. Some really good lobs coming from Delmonico Gebbia.
And again, I think just Charlotte and Vanessa have to be careful that they're not putting the ball from one side of the court to the other and allowing, especially Kerry, to lob the ball off the deck.
Big point.
All right, and it's 7 serving 8. What do you think, Cindy? Are we going to go 14 all?
I'm counting on it.
I think 14 all. Maybe they spin. Call it up or down.
Do you want that ball at 14 all, Dave?
14 all? I probably want to return more than I want to serve.
8 all. Sakura serving.
See, I like that volley better. She stayed up there. She held her ground.
That's a really good overhead.
She finds a seam.
9-8.
No, 14 all. Patty Hogan told me
8-9.
a long time ago. You're not even thinking about the serve because you're just blooping it in and you're buckling the chin strap and getting ready to volley. Don't even think about the serve because you're just blooping it in.
I agree. Patty knows.
That's a good overhead.
9 all. Delmonico to serve. Can't be any tighter.
Charlotte's been doing really well with the return down the middle there.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
Yep, no, that's a good call.
11-10.
And I think that was a really good drive that Lauren just put pressure on her.
Yep.
You know, it was 10-10. She put the pressure. And again, that certainly wasn't as hard of a return as we've seen her hit in the past or even earlier tonight.
Right.
She can. We all know she could bring it.
We've seen it. Okay, 12-11. Delmonico, Gebbia lead.
And I think as we're getting later
Charlotte
into this
to serve.
tiebreaker, you know, again, Charlotte and Vanessa, they're trading points. The points aren't long. They're kind of trading points. They're fast points. And again, I don't think that is going to do well in the end for Vanessa and Charlotte. I think they got to go back to what the point we're watching right now, more of a grinding out, more balls in play. But I don't think them trading points with Lauren and Kerry is going to, I don't think that's the answer.
This is a really great point for them. Oh, good lob by Delmonico. That's what she does so well. She sets it up.
And again, I think it's just, personally, I think Charlotte hits that ball straight ahead, not cross court. If she goes cross court, I think she has to get it into a side screen so they can shift over and get ready for the next shot. So I think it just caught Vanessa off balance.
Yep, good point, Dave. 13-12. Switching sides. Sun's not a factor tonight.
I think we're going to have to send out notes on how to do the 15-point tiebreaker.
Okay, Delmonico
But
to
they
serve.
got it. They're figuring it out here.
13-12.
See, that's the one, again, where I think it's going cross court. It's opening up the court, and it's allowing, and again, all four of these women have big drives.
They do. Oh, boy. Okay, so it's 14-13, Delmonica.
At Veritext, it's not just a deposition. It's the witness that will win your trial. It's the reason you became a lawyer. It's your first case as a partner. It's that case that will make you partner. It's for the families who lost something. It's for that groundbreaking patent. It's for one of the largest companies in the world, or one of the smallest. It's something that will change someone's life forever. At Veritext, it's never just a deposition. We understand it's so much more.
I don't know about you, but I'm rooting for 14-all.
Yes.
Patty's got to go out there and
Comes
flip
down
the
to
coin.
1 point at 14-all.
Don't play it out. Flip the coin. Heads or tails. Really good point. I think Vanessa's just got to be careful. She gets out of Charlotte's way on some of these.
Seem to be talking at net. Some great gets all around.
Lauren's playing that backhand corner really well.
Wow, 14-all, Dave.
14-all. This is what
it.
we wanted. This is live. This was not pre-recorded.
Oh, wow. Down
this
to 1
is
point,
live.
Vince.
I didn't have inside information.
Next, 1 point wins the match here.
This is it.
Vanessa Petrini to serve. Pressure's on. All four out, really.
What are the chances on a let cord winner? What a return, what a volley. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Ooh.
Might have been saved there.
See, that's the one I don't love. Go straight ahead with that ball. Contain the drive.
This is a great 14-all point. Nobody's given up.
Pro flight history, 14-all. There aren't many of them. What a lob.
Wow.
What a lob.
It's the Delmonico lob that gets him in the end.
What a lob.
What a great point. What a great match.
All right,
Impressed
Cindy,
by
well, that
all.
was an amazing match. I'm glad we got to watch it front row and center.
Thank you for spending time with me, Dave.
Always
Really
a pleasure.
fun.
Always great to see you. And I think we're going to take a break, and we're going to be coming back with a men's match shortly.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Pro Flight Paddle here at Canoe Brook Country Club. We have a men's match coming up. I'll be commentating here in the booth along with John Lubau. It's turning out to be a beautiful night. The rain looks like it's stopping, and we're almost set to go.
Yep, Drew just took a practice serve. They're going to start. Players look ready.
So we're starting out. You see Drew and Tomas with a lot of lobs trying to control the tempo. John, do you think you could maybe go to dinner and come back and we'll still be in the first set?
No, I think they're. I always like to play the first point. Oh, that's a bad drive by Tomas. I just always like to play defensively on the first point, and
just to get into the match, right?
Yeah,
And get a feel
yeah.
for the
I don't
ball.
Oh
boy.
There's
Big. That's a big ball.
Yeah, I mean Mark's got one of the best forehand returns in the game. He actually kind of gets his whole body into the air when he hits it. Another. Martin missed the deck drive return.
Was that from the commentator's jinx?
Yes, exactly. It's nice to see these. Looks like Mark is going to be playing a lot of offense. He's got such a good form on his forehand.
And again, I also think, as I was saying to Cindy Prendergast before about how
Another miss by Martin on a deck drive.
you know how this is more for the members to come out and watch an exhibition. So that they want to see drives, they want to see cut shots. They don't, I think they want it to be fan friendly.
Well, I mean, I don't think yes, there's the people coming to watch, but the nice thing for these guys is, I mean, they're just playing for a little money.
Right.
When they get some money, maybe, and in this format, I don't even know if they know how they're going to get that money. But the pressure is off. I mean, I've played in a number of these events, and obviously, but I've played in them when you would potentially lose the quarterfinals and be out of the main draw. But in the round robin event like this, it's these guys are not afraid to put on a little bit of a show and to play a lot of offense and to try some shots. And like Martin definitely would have not attempted those 3 shots if it was a quarterfinal match to try and make it to the semifinals.
Right. And Drew and Tomas take a 1-0 lead here.
Yep. Martin coming to serve. Martin, who has one of the best serves in the game, but he often doesn't. He's been fiddling with the forehand serve recently.
Oh, the underhand roller,
Forehand,
side
overhand,
hand.
I mean, not overhead.
It's right. It's underhead.
Whatever you want to call it. Whatever it is. It's kind of changed the game a little bit over the last couple of years. From the looks of things, it looks like the wetness is no longer a factor. The ball seems to be holding up well, and I'm not seeing much of a slash ball here. It's just regular paddle, which is
it's bouncing pretty true.
Oh. All right, that's about the 4th error out of Martin in 7 or 8 points. So I think he's going to actually 5th.
But for you, these are not off the deck. In all fairness, these have been out of the air.
It's I don't think you're allowed to serve off the deck. I actually looked that up. You're not allowed to bounce. You have to hit it out of the air.
But again, good crowd here at Canoe Brook for Pro Flight Paddle. It looks like the crowd people are still coming in now that the snow, rain, sleet has stopped.
And by the way, that is true. It's a great crowd in the paddle hut here, and a bunch of people down outside and watching. I think pretty much they've played 8 or 9 points, and Martin's had 2 winners and 6 errors. Do you think he's got to go somewhere?
Is he having dinner with you?
Oh, you know what? I was just talking to Tomas. No, he's not. I was just talking to Tomas before we went out there. We were talking about how to serve in the in wet weather. Oh, good. It
was a good hand-to-hand. Yeah.
And the key is that when you're serving, and for everybody out there who's just picking up the game or doesn't play a lot in the rain, and all of a sudden you get into this member guest or a tournament where you do have to play in the rain. It's you have to play differently, and one of the things you have to do differently is the serve, and you have to aim the serve differently because the wet ball doesn't bite the paddle as much.
Right.
You have to aim. If you're righty, you have to aim more to the right, and if you're lefty, you have to aim more to the left, and you actually have to aim higher. Otherwise, the ball won't
just dies off the paddle.
Yes. Dies. It dives. It dies and it dives.
At Veritext, it's not just a deposition. It's the witness that will win your trial. It's the reason you became a lawyer. It's your first case as a partner. It's that case that will make you partner. It's for the families who lost something. It's for that groundbreaking patent. It's for one of the largest companies in the world, or one of the smallest. It's something that will change someone's life forever. At Veritext, it's never just a deposition. We understand it's so much more.
And Mark Powers is serving here at, I believe it's 1 serving 2.
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go to dinner. I'm going with out to La Focaccia, a little ad for them in Summit, with my wife and Jimmy White, who's a member at Canoe Brook, and his wife Marguerite. Where are you going tonight?
I'm going to be here on the live stream, offering my words of wisdom. And
I thought you were out. I thought you had. They're kicking you off.
So I did. I was scheduled to really good volley.
Nice drive out of Mark. He's got such a heavy forehand. The way he kind of flicks his wrist and hits it down.
And you know what? He locks and loads so quickly.
He does. You know, he gets his whole body kind of torqued and gets so much momentum and uses the physics of the body so well to get a good shot. Powerful shot. All right, well, Dave, it's been nice hanging out with you for these 4 games or 3 games. I'm going to hand over the mic to Patty in a minute, and hope everybody enjoys the rest of the festivities. It's definitely a great night here, and we'll see you soon.
All right, John, well, thank you for joining us tonight in the booth. Please enjoy your dinner. Try the Clams Casino. I heard it's one of their best appetizers.
Oh, I very well might do that. Thanks to Drew. Thanks to ProFlight. Thanks to PPAC Bank. And
Richard Wright at Bleakley.
Oh, of course. And here's Patty.
Patty, welcome back to the booth. We're here in the first set with Drew Broderick and Tomas Christian playing against Mark Powers and Martin Bostrom.
Dave, Mark Powers is serving, and can you tell me the score? Because I'm just joining you.
It is 1-2 here again in the first set.
Broderick and Christian are up, Dave?
They are. Really good volleys by Martin Bostrom. And again, as I was talking to John Lubau about it, I'd like to see Tomas bring a little bit more offense out of that forehand corner because he has a huge forehand. It's just he doesn't display it as often as people should get to see it. And I also think it's a little bit of a trial and error right now, him getting comfortable as to when he should be bringing it out, and when's it time to go full speed ahead and when should he lay off it a little bit. But I think, again, he's one of the newer players out on the tour that's starting to do really well. And I think with experience, he's going to get better and better.
Dave, talk about that. Like his nature as a tennis player, and he brings this forehand drive to the game, but you don't see it on display that much. But they got to the finals of Boston, and they took apart a couple of really good teams because they're willing to play a certain style. And I think that's the beauty. I was talking to Ian McDonald, who's a great member of Canoe Brook, Dave, and he was talking about how this is such an amazing sport where at the top level of the sport in the men's game, Dave, you see these contrasting styles of play, and they're both effective.
Right. Well, I also think, too, with Tomas playing with Drew, I think having this patience is a good thing because no matter who he's playing with or against, he knows at some point if he needs to win a point, he can keep the ball in play. He knows he can always go to, I'm going to wait for the best opportunity type of a plan. And you know what, as we talk about it and say what you want about keeping the ball in play, but it's sort of a special, you've got to have the mentality of being able to keep those balls in play and not forcing the issue.
Dave, you watched your brother play a lot of paddle matches over the year.
Usually at night I watch YouTube to help me fall asleep.
I can't talk about the number of hours of watching it, and you know, the contrasting styles are on display week in and week out, and I think that, you know, someone like a Tomas Christian, I mean, if you said you take in as someone's second competitive season that they got to the finals
Right.
of one of the biggest events of the year, you would take that with that style of play.
No, absolutely. And, you know, Tomas is coming a long way, and you see Martin hitting the ball hard off the back screen, trying to make something happen.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
And I will tell you this, more important than Tomas getting better at paddle, he is a fine young man. If I'm down in the Philly area for anything, I always make sure to call him and see if he's out available to have a drink, have lunch.
I mean, it's important, Dave, that you maintain a social schedule here, and I'm glad Tomas and helps that. But why don't you tell everybody the score of this match?
It is 3-1 in the first set. Christian Broderick in the lead.
So, Dave, quickly, the format for tonight's Pro Flight event. Every Pro Flight event is different. Drew Broderick, we know, founded this format. You know, it went from a one-day event to several hours, and it's become much more of a member-friendly event for whatever the host club is. Their members get to come out here and get to meet these players firsthand. And you know, Canoe Brook's membership is every stop on the Pro Flight Tour. I mean, these people just love paddle, as witnessed today by, I think it's snowing now. It was pouring rain. They're all out playing with the pros this afternoon.
They were out playing in a round robin, playing with the pros, all the members and guests.
I mean, they know paddle and love paddle, Dave.
To play in the rain, you have to.
True or false, Dave? Canoe Brook's had platform tennis since 1901.
True.
Dave, come on, answer the question for real.
Wait, you mean
the club was founded in 1901.
Hold
We're
on,
in Summit, New Jersey.
True Vodka is not a sponsor anymore.
We're in Summit, New Jersey. Canoe Brook is in a totally paddle-friendly area in New Jersey. Dave, you've been involved with myself and so many other people running Junior Nationals coming up on March 5th. Dave, did I tell you how many courts we're using for Junior Nationals? 64 so far. We've got 1 million clubs in this area. We're really lucky. Plainfield Country Club, where Martin Bostrom is the pro. You know, we don't need to go down to Aronimink for Tomas Christian's club, but I'm sure they're going to enjoy that when they get to see this match.
That was a pretty impressive overhead.
Dave, what's the score of the match now?
It is 4-1 here in the first set. They are playing one set.
So the format of Pro Flight tonight, as we said, this event changes depending on where we are. The women are playing 2 out of 3. Super tiebreaker in the third, and we had our second super tiebreaker in history of this Pro Flight, Dave.
That went 14-all.
14-all, and Delmonico Gebbia pulled it out. And then in a mild upset, but you'll get to see, Flora Hanisch is here, not with Anna Zabori, but she's here. Dave, who's her partner? Have we learned how to say her name yet? Because I just learned tonight. Let's go with Liza. Lisa
Lalich, I believe.
Oh, my Lord, what a talent. I was watching them play. They won a tiebreak, the super tiebreaker 15-9, Dave, over national champions Nicolescu and Anika. Each a national champion, and Leida's just, you know, new to the sport. What a delight. I just met her husband tonight. Sven 1.0 or 1.2 or something. Super talented. They're out at Essex Hunt in PPAC. It's their first season out there, and they're doing a great job. And Junior Nationals, Dave, I'd love to do a shout out to the New Jersey Men's League, the New Jersey's Women's League, to Court Pro, to Riley Green Mountain Platform Tennis, and the New Jersey Flex Women's League for their sponsorship of the upcoming Junior Nationals. And Flex is a new sponsor for us. It's a new league in New Jersey. Started a couple years ago, and they have over 400 players or 500 players, Dave, playing in it now this year. And it's great that they're supportive of the Junior Nationals, of course.
Mark Powers just puts so much spin on that overhead when he wants to. You see Mark and Martin are trying to speed the ball up a little bit, trying to move Drew and Tomas back up to the net and back to the baseline, as opposed to just moving them side to side.
Powers and Hughes lost in the last tournament to Broderick and Christian, and Powers has to figure out the formula here, Dave, to have the patience. I mean, Mark Powers, if you ask anybody in this sport, name the top 4 players, Powers is in every conversation. I mean, incredible talent, played Yale #1, 4 years. Dave, what's your favorite shot that Mark Powers hits?
I like watching when he short hops his backhand. Like I was saying to John before, even on the forehand, the backhand, his ground strokes, I mean, he just gets set and unloads on it quickly. And we see the Tomas and Drew track meet. We've seen that lately a bunch.
Yeah, and I mean,
They're
incredible
getting faster. I
overheads
think
with the
they're
spin.
getting faster.
And they just, I think they recognize the shots, Dave. Following this match will be the women's final, as we spoke about, and that'll be a 2 out of 3, like we said, where all of the men's matches tonight are 1 set. I like the 1 set, Dave. What do you think about it?
Well, again, for this format, I think it's exciting. I think it's fun for the fans.
Yeah, there's lots of people in the paddle community filling up the paddle hut here, out by the courts, enjoying the hospitality. Dave, what's the game score now?
Tomas is serving. I believe it's 4-2.
So big hold and game point, real
Big
good
hold,
serve to, deep, impacting the Mark Powers return to serve forehand. That's pretty incredible.
And I think Mark and Mark missed a couple of returns there. Gave away a couple of free points. But
At Veritext, it's not just a deposition. It's the witness that will win your trial. It's the reason you became a lawyer. It's your first case as a partner. It's that case that will make you partner. It's for the families who lost something. It's for that groundbreaking patent. It's for one of the largest companies in the world, or one of the smallest. It's something that will change someone's life forever. At Veritext, it's never just a deposition. We understand it's so much more.
thing is, Tomas can hit a heavy ball like we just saw, all right? And he could also flatten it out, and he could bring the heat. So, again, I think it's just a matter of him getting experience and figuring out when to go for it, when to kind of ease off the throttle.
He spotted that drive.
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
caught Bostrom. Powers. They're not super familiar with each other, and they flipped over to the forehand volley, causing, the error there. I think that's the key to driving. I don't care how hard you hit the ball.
Well, and I think that's...
But you got to spot it.
Exactly, and I was going to say that's something
Like
for
right
Tomas.
there again.
Right.
Tomas learned from the other shot where he forced the error and just got a little indecision there from Bostrom and Powers. You know, it's kind of fun within the point how it speeds up, slows down,
Right.
speeds up, slows down. You know, and it does look like Broderick and Christian Hüttering driving a little earlier in the points, Dave.
They're mixing it up for them, as they say.
And I think, you know, it serves them no good to both pound at the beginning of the match
Right.
until, you know, you've backed up that net team. You look at the hands of Powers and Bostrom as a volley team. What good would it do you to come out of the box driving at those guys? They're not going to miss that many volleys.
Right. And again, by the way, we talk about Mark Powers and his baseline play and his ground strokes. That was just a phenomenal volley he hit
Oh, my Lord.
to keep the point going.
I love watching him serve. I actually love watching him in every shot, Dave.
He is fun to watch.
Just so talented, so cool. I mean,
Another really good guy out there on the paddle tour.
it just takes such composure out here. And Powers, I mean, he never loses it. So the format tonight also a brand new pro flag. Dave, did you talk about what happens on a deuce point? Did you and John Lubell cover it?
We did not. We had that, Cindy and I had that in our women's match where tonight the server gets to pick who they serve to.
And is this a 3-all point, Dave? I'm not positive. I'm not scorekeeping.
It is not a 3-0 point.
Okay. Because it seemed like there was a quick chat and then Powers served over to Tomas, but I had lost the score.
I want to say this is a 40-15 point.
Okay. But I've never seen this in play where the server gets to choose who they want to serve the ball to, rather than the return team pick who
Right.
gets it. So I've got to believe the advantage does go to that serving team more. You're right, it wasn't.
No, it was 40-15.
Dave, are you staying with us to the end of this match?
I will be here. I'm here.
Okay, I thought you had a little.
Nope.
We're going to get to hear from Mike Stulak in a little while. He's going to help us out a little bit.
Hall of Famer, national champion.
What do you think? Should we get Mike Stulak in the booth for Kerry's match for a game or
Ooh.
two, Dave? Oh, I don't know if that's a good
Right.
strategy.
Either he's not going to say what he thinks or he's going to get in trouble. We may not want to put him through that.
Yeah, I don't think we want to put him in that spot. Oh my gosh, what a crazy point. I mean, Dave, they're all so quick, they make it look normal.
Yeah.
Most people are nowhere near this quick. I mean, I know you have sneaky quickness.
Patty, pound for pound, I might be one of the fastest people in America. Oh.
Oh.
And Tomas guessed wrong on that one.
Tomas is just healing.
It's going to open up a new wound. Just as the stitches are starting to...
What do you mean he has to be careful? Who has to be careful?
Tomas has to... That ball's spinning so hard off the back screen that Powers will be able to drive it at some point, and he will be able to drive it hard. I think all that spin would do him better off hitting it into the side screen, where the ball can really bite against the screen. Good drive by Martin Bostrom there. Caught Tomas popping up a little bit. He didn't stay low. Popped up there. Good serve towards the nick. Patty, interesting here. Powers and Bostrom, he's tightening it up, but he's winning points. He's hitting winners. Bostrom serving to stay in the set here.
They were down 4-1, Dave, 5-2, and they've got it themselves at 5-4.
Yeah. What a bunch of pickups there. I mean, it's like, what do you say?
These are sick volleys is all I have to say. I mean, it is so fun to watch.
Can the fans out there hear me opening my mouth in awe?
Oh, my Lord. Another incredible get from Christian off the screens. They got a lot of screen practice in their last tournament, Dave.
Oh.
Ooh.
I think Mark Powers knew that at that particular moment it was going to take an amazing shot to win that point.
Yeah, Dave, I mean, as the game has just progressed over the years, you used to see like a decent amount of points being won if someone hit the nick. Now these guys, like the phenomenal athletes in our game, just run their ability to run down these, shots that just come in at bizarre angles.
And I know from a teaching standpoint, people would say, what do you do when you play someone that just lobs every ball? Aim for the nick. Nowadays, you can't. They get them.
Well, at the highest level in the sport, these guys make every part of the game look easy here. That's why the crowd is loving this entertainment. Everybody loves the game of paddle, but, no one in the audience can appreciate how hard this is to just hit incredible shot after incredible shot, Dave.
Patty, I also think from watching the progress in the last couple of years, as I was telling John Lubau, Tomas just looks more comfortable. He doesn't look jumpy. He looks like, he's just one of the 4 guys out for a Sunday afternoon match.
Well, that's the progression from the beginning of the season to now. Just lights out. I mean, Dave, it's like when you got your golf handicap down like 10 points what season? That's the progress you made, and that's the progress Christian's made. And
there you have it.
6-4 to Broderick and Christian. They win that match over Bostrom and Powers. Next up will be our women's final.
And I think, Patty, you'll be calling that match as well, right?
I think we'll all be taking turns tonight. I think we'll get Hall of Famer Cindy Prendergast back in the booth.
I believe we will have a Hall of Fame crew.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
Welcome back to Pro Flight Paddle. I'm Patty Hogan alongside my Hall of Fame former partner Cindy Prendergast for the final match in Pro Flight's women's schedule tonight. And we're off. Delmonico to serve.
Once again, Delmonico serve is one of the best in the tour. Deep, hard. I'm imagining, Patty, that they're going to test Lisa.
So right when we were about to come on air, we started talking about it. I said, you know what? I said, this is going to be amazing. Of course, Delmonico and Gebbia are going to go after her at some point. My guess is they'll try to get it into her corners. The temperature's dropping, Cindy. We get a little snow out here. We went from pouring rain this afternoon.
Have it all.
To a little bit of a colder weather as the temperature drops. I think that would feed into Lalage's ground strokes. And, I mean, she's got some height, Cindy. And, I mean, her wingspan is going to make it tough on the Delmonico Gebbia overheads. I'll be curious to see how they handle it.
Well, it's interesting because so many times these teams have seen each other, and this is a new matchup for Gebbia and Delmonico to see. So they're going to have to figure it out. That's an amazing return by Lisa.
Right, so she just took that Delmonico serve, the ball sat up a little bit and just cracked that forehand return to serve.
Okay, Delmonico Gebbia win the first game.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
Flora Hanish serving.
My observation, Patty, is that Flora is just a really good partner. She seems to adapt and with any partner she plays with. And I'm sure Lisa's going to really enjoy this experience tonight.
I mean, when you have the opportunity, you know, when you came along in the game, Cindy, when I came along, we had people who just sort of, you know, provided some on-court mentoring, and, you know, that just allows for a player's trajectory just to soar. You see Tomas Christian earlier playing with Drew Broderick, you know, and you know, Lalich coming out here and getting this opportunity to compete with Hanish and then getting a win in that first match over Roxy Anika, who's a two-time mixed national champ, and Nicolescu, 3 women's national titles, 1 mixed. That's phenomenal.
And by the way, they just had a great final in Boston, so they're off a hot tournament. Boy, the depth on floor serve is impressive.
Yeah, that's one of the things in her game. You know, we talked about Gebbia's rise in this sport and how she's improved her screens. She's added variety to her overheads. You know, Hanish, I'm really impressed with her serve over the last 2 seasons.
I would say. I remember her a few years ago having a little bit of a faulting issue, but not anymore. 1-all.
You know, and everybody who plays the game goes through periods where, you know, faulting is out there. And Cindy, as you know, when you're playing in a high-pressure situation, it's really hard. So you have to kind of wrestle with how much spin, how much pace, how to get in a comfort zone on your serving, and that's why you've seen, you know, the underhand or sidearm serve come into play.
The returns are so good that you just you have to do a little bit more with it than maybe you have in the past.
Yeah, you can't just dump serves in and go into your pattern of comfort zone on your serving because everyone's way too good. There's the Gebbia, little slice, kind of hitting the back, a little bit underneath the ball in the overhead.
Oh boy, that's a big backhand. It's a great volley over there too. Ooh.
And we've seen that play, and we've seen Hanish make that a million times already this year. With usually it's Zabori who's helping her out in that ad court, but you know, we're sorry Anna Zabori's not here tonight, but what a treat to watch this outstanding new talent in our sport. See how low she got for that volley? I mean, she's down there for a tall woman. She just absorbed that pace and just waited for that. I mean, that's incredible poise for volley technique this early in her paddle career. Cindy, do you agree with me? There's no fear in this woman?
Wow. Wow. I mean, she's playing like she's played national finals. I mean, this is really good competition. Great lob, too. Great overhead by Lauren Gebbia.
I was just thinking, what do they do to win a point out here?
You have to do that. You have to nick.
Gebbia, former junior national champion. She's a teaching professional herself up in New York. She was in North Jersey for a while. You know, I love her style of game. It's high risk, high reward.
At Veritext, it's not just a deposition. It's the witness that will win your trial. It's the reason you became a lawyer. It's your first case as a partner. It's that case that will make you partner. It's for the families who lost something. It's for that groundbreaking patent. It's for one of the largest companies in the world, or one of the smallest. It's something that will change someone's life forever. At Veritext, it's never just a deposition. We understand it's so much more.
It's a great low shot by Carrie Delmonico. She's great at moving the ball around. Doesn't hit the ball as hard as some of these players, but her placement is amazing.
Yeah, she's one of the more thoughtful players out, real deliberate with her shot selection and kind of the sequence of her shots. One leads to another, leads to another, leads to another.
Big serve by Lisa, not fearful at all.
You don't see that many women serve go into the screens, during competitive play. You see it kind of in practice matches, but that's pretty impressive right there that she just, hit it with enough pace to do that. I guess Hanisch is allowed to miss every once in a while, Cindy.
I like the attempt. It's a great rip by Lauren Gebbia. Even out of the reach of Lisa.
Even that's impressive.
That is impressive.
I think you think about the Gebbia serve, and you also think about how Lisa's serve will hold up in this. Like, to me, she's a ball striker. We talked about Mike Powers earlier, just being a pure ball striker. Lilich is just a pure ball striker, Cindy, and
no doubt.
The serve is the only part of the game that, is the one that's when pressure hits, like, I feel like she's good enough where she's not going to miss volleys. I feel like she's good enough that it looks like ground strokes rock solid. Screenplay impressive in the early going here.
Uncharacteristic overhead miss by Carrie Delmonico. That's a really big return by Lisa. Score is 2-all, by the way.
Excellent. Shout out to a big friend of Pro Flight Paddle, always has been, and that's Mo Morrison out in Chicago from Midnight Paddle. Drew's brought in a lot of sponsors who have stuck with this. They're excited when he introduced the format of Pro Flight a couple of years ago. Cindy and, he's had great sponsors throughout this, and they're the ones who are like, let's go, even though the weather looked a little suspect. They didn't really want to miss out on an opportunity for tonight's play.
Well, it's a great crowd, and they're braving the weather. People are outside eating hamburgers, having beers, enjoying the competition. I mean, there's great matches going on all the courts.
Yeah, every court. We're just seeing the show court here, the feature court, but how amazing is it, Lauren? You look over and you see Sven Burrs, a finalist in last year's Nationals with Mickey Ordoya. They're out there with Juan Araya, Chris Hughes out there. It's just, there's a star everywhere you look. Filippo Siscone, one of the new rising stars in the men's game. And that's what's fun about this format with Pro Flight. These guys show up, and sometimes they play with the regular partner, sometimes they'll all mix it up, and
seems like the men do a little bit more of that than the women, so it's kind of impressive to see Floor play with Lisa.
I mean, Gebbia and Delmonico are really going to have to lob a little bit deeper here to set up, that Gebbia, forehand or backhand. And, I think, it'll be an interesting thing to see how Gebbia handles this, because she's not going to get that many easy looks, to pounce.
Right.
And my concern would be if she starts forcing it a little bit, and that was a little bit of a forced shot. She just hit it a little too flat for a ball that was, kind of deep enough and had enough pace. Tough ball to handle to go through like that. She didn't make an adjustment on her stroke to just put the ball in play. But like I said, here you are, and this is the final match. We're at 3-2. Hanish and Lalich have their first lead, or what are we, 2-1, Cindy? I'm not sure.
3-2, Floor and Liesl.
Okay, I was looking at the scoreboard courtside, which is not right.
No, it's not right.
I apologize.
They're not moving. Floor serving. Lisa's, she's off the net a little bit for Lauren. But it worked.
Hey, with her wingspan.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like me playing off the net, Cindy. She covers a lot of ground. Right there, Gebbia did see the opening. Maybe just let up a tiny bit. Just put that ball in play. She didn't have to hit it but she's a ball striker, and she hits that ball and comes off pretty flat. Not much margin for error. Cindy, you talked about Lalich has played with Georgie, and they've had some good results. They played, they got to the quarters in the Westchester event. I think lost that match to Gebbia and Delmonico, actually. They went out to Chicago. They lost either in the 16s or the quarters. I'm not positive. I think it was 16s to Floor and Anna.
So they've had some tough draws, too, huh?
Tough draws. So, I mean, she's not an easy out, as they call it. You've got to say, if she's only losing to the top players in the game, her first year of competitive play.
So these top teams don't want to catch that Georgie and Elisa in the round of 16 or 32 right now.
I mean, that was the ball to rip. She had it, and Gebbia and Delmonico were not on top of the net on that. That would have been a problem. I mean, they're good volleyers, but that would have been really tough.
Yeah, so some better lobs by Carrie Delmonico, creating some opportunities.
Hanish is over at Montclair Golf Club. She's started teaching there this fall. She joined Mick Erdoya's staff, and they're hitting it out of the park, doing a great job. Montclair's huge. Another one of the clubs around here that just loves their platform tennis. A knowledgeable audience, Cindy. And they
Another great addition for New Jersey, too, right?
New Jersey's loving the influx of all these pros from around the country, from around the world, actually.
From around the world is right. It's Florida serve again.
And another really good deep serve from Floor. Delmonico's not doing much off the return serve, but we wouldn't really expect her. She doesn't really rip the returns. She's sort of more of a role player out here with Gebbia, and works in the setup role and waits for Gebbia to get the ball she wants to, take a rip.
Patty, I think we're at 2-4. Lauren Gebbia to serve.
Cindy, here you have Delmonico Gebbia, one of the top couple teams in the country, playing against a newbie team, but because Hanish is on the other side.
I agree with that.
You always think the match is going to be highly competitive no matter what. And then when I saw Floor and Lisa's win over Gabby and Roxy, I just caught 5 minutes of the action, and I knew that Lisa was the real deal.
Well, you're not the only person that's thinking that.
Yeah, the
word
intel
on the street
is out there that she's phenomenal, and just happened to catch a few points there. And, you know, Gabby and Roxy, you know, they have no fears when they play the sport, and you could see Lisa was right in there with them. What a volley on that low ball. You can see Monaco and Gebbia, you know, they switched. They didn't look like they were, you know, in any urgent, they didn't have a need to quickly go back, and that's probably from Gebbia. I mean, Delmonico calls the shots on when they're going to switch and what they're going to do, Cindy.
Yes, that makes sense.
We know she's the boss.
You always have to have a boss, I think.
Well, no matter where Delmonico is, she's the boss. So she'll call the play, and anybody who's ever seen her up close, she constantly is talking out there. You, me, go, whatever. Very much a player coach on the court at all times. You know, and she knows, I mean, Gebbia and Delmonico make a remarkable team because their styles do complement each other perfectly.
And they really have a lot of fun off the court, too, which I think helps.
For sure. You know, that's the Hanisch lob out of the deuce court that causes confusion, Cindy. I see that all the time. And, you know, Hanisch's lobbing has made a difference in her game. I mean, she can just spot it. You talk about Delmonico's ability to play shots. You know, that's what Hanisch does as well as any woman in the game, I think, right now, where she'll pick and choose, and she senses, you know, momentum from the other team. She's well aware of the movement of the other players, and she has the ability to hold her shot and hit the shot they're not expecting.
That's a great rip.
Boom.
And we all know Carrie's a great volleyer, so that was just a great return.
Well, one of the things, you know, I talked about, I said, you know, I'd be a little bit concerned with Gebbia's serve holding up against the firepower out of the ad court here tonight. And I think, you know, Carrie stood up there to take it, and, you know, Lisa just rocked the ball at her. And so that could cause them to have to give up the net a little bit. You know, and you can see they're a little discouraged here, and Hanisch and Lalich have, you know, 5-2 lead in the first set. I think Floor is a very good scorekeeper.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
All right, so here we go. Lalich is serving up 5-2. First set of the finals, 2 out of 3 set. In lieu of the third set, they'll play a Pro Flight Super Breaker. First to get 15 points will win. Following this, we'll get another matchup in the men's. The men are playing 4 rounds of 1 set, switching partners everywhere, and we'll get some of that action again soon. So, Cindy, I think Lalich has answered every question we have.
Yeah, so we can check every box with her. They are, I think they're frustrating Carrie and Lauren right now.
You know, and one of these things when you talk about pressure, is there pressure tonight? Sure, there's a big crowd out here playing, you know, watching these players, and, you know, sometime when you're the veteran team, there is a lot more pressure to try to pull out these matches. As you can see, these two took out Floor and Roxy. It's incredible, and, you know, they're making Delmonico Gebbia pay for any shot that's not quite perfect. I mean, there's no getting away with just floating a ball over with very little speed against Lalich and Hanisch here.
Well, none of these teams want to lose because they're going to see each other in the next tournament. And wow, it's an impressive set.
So Lalich and Hanisch win the first set, 6-2.
Yes.
At Veritext, it's not just a deposition. It's the witness that will win your trial. It's the reason you became a lawyer. It's your first case as a partner. It's that case that will make you partner. It's for the families who lost something. It's for that groundbreaking patent. It's for one of the largest companies in the world, or one of the smallest. It's something that will change someone's life forever. At Veritext, it's never just a deposition. We understand it's so much more.
All right, Cindy, here's the question. What do Gebbia and Delmonico do? What are your thoughts?
I think they have to well,
Pray
in my
that the lights go
opinion-
out right now. That's always my number one strategy.
there's a fire on the grill that everybody has to attend to. No, I think they need to slow it down a little bit.
So how do they slow it down is the question. I always ask everybody, how do they slow it down here? You know, it's tricky because the net play
No, it's an
from
impressive
Lalich
return.
and Hanisch, I mean, how many unforced errors in that first two set from them at the net? 2?
Right.
So Delmonico Gebbia, whose strength is being on the baseline, they don't have any answers right now to break them down. They're not lobbing well enough.
Well, they have to lob better. That's for sure.
Sure. And then at the net, you know, their serves are getting crushed here. Great first volley from Gebbia. So it's tricky.
Wow.
And you know, when the momentum is not with you, you know, and you try to slow it down, how do you really slow it down? I mean, that's, you know, and it does not look like Delmonico and Gebbia want to slow it down in particular here on the serving game. Like, you know, and I've got to believe in a tournament where it's 2 out of 3 and you're playing a full round, you might have a different approach to this moment in the match, Cindy. Is that a
Right.
nice way to say it?
I think so. Wow, that is a really athletic get by Floor. That was a great opener. Wow, wow. I mean, Lisa she's just driving from everywhere on this court, and effectively.
Yep, and I think with Delmonico Gebbia, it was interesting. I watched the warm-ups, and I'm watching Lisa pounce the ball, and Floor, we know what Floor does, everything perfectly. But I'm watching Lisa, and I watched Delmonico and Gebbia, like, really thinking about their volleys, getting down low, closing into the net. Now they're kind of hitting their overheads and standing there and hoping something good happens on the volleys, but I think they have to move forward as a wall.
I agree with
They
you
got
on
to
that.
move the wall forward so that they can actually get more depth on the volleys. I just think playing off the net is giving them, you know, Lisa in particular on her ground strokes, just way too much room. She can hit the dipping ball.
Well, Lauren just had a great return, and that'll help the team. She starts rocking some of those.
Well, that's her strength. She can rip forehand or backhand, and you know she's so fun to watch because she can do that. You know, the power that she generates. She's not the biggest woman out there by any stretch, and she hits the ball as hard as anybody.
Patty, I don't know if you noticed at this beginning of this second set, they have switched sides. Just to give the
Delmonico and Gebbia have switched sides.
Yes. Just to give the opposing team a different look. And that's what's so great about this team. They can do that effectively.
Yep. We talked about that earlier. They can play either side. And, you know, you kind of knew this was coming because you saw Delmonico in no rush to switch late in that first set because Delmonico was already thinking, okay, I'm going to have to get over here because all we need to do is win one set, and because then we get this thing to a super breaker.
So,
And
yeah.
that, you know, that's Delmonico's strength as a player. She's a tactician. She's a fighter. She will grind this thing out. And, I mean, that was a huge game right there. We're at 1-1, second set. Pro Flight Women's Final. Lalich and Hanisch won the first set, 6-2. I'm Patty Hogan alongside Hall of Famer Cindy Prendergast.
Can't do that. I know she's trying to get it deep.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting if Lalich takes it right at Delmonico again. See, and right there, Gebbia had the shot, and she had to sense that, you know, Delmonico committed to being forward, and Lauren had to hit a dipping kind of a ball. She didn't have to hit that ball that hard, but she had to get that ball low just to protect Delmonico, who had made the move forward.
Right.
Look at that
Oh, what a great
transition,
get.
back and forward, and the amount of court she covered there, Cindy, amazing.
Okay, so that's a deep lob we were looking for from
And
this
that's
team.
right, and that's what Delmonico, I think, does as well as anyone up there with Hanisch, in her ability to spot her lobs and open up the court and get into this transition game where they can take over the net. And I think Delmonico does that a lot better from the ad court where she's always played versus the deuce court.
It's giving Lauren a lot of looks in this second set. Oh boy.
Whoopsie.
Gives the lead to Flora and Lisa. 2-1, second set. They won the first set 6-2.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
This is going to be a big game.
This is big. I was distracted. Cindy, I was looking over at Juana Raya on the court with Sven Burrs. How fun is that? I mean, talk about some firepower, some personalities.
Love 30.
This is what Delmonico and Gebbia needed.
They need this.
They just needed these guys to screw up a little bit, Cindy, quite honestly. Because they were just rock solid. I mean, their game just rose like in front of our eyes. Their level of play was quite extraordinary. And
I mean, Lauren Gebbia just returned the ball, like, and Lisa just volleyed it deep. I mean, that's very impressive.
well, she's not phased by pace. You know, that's why I'm saying it's an interesting match, because they're so used to, Delmonico and Gebbia are so used to Gebbia's power really breaking down some of her opponents and their volley technique.
Yes.
Where there's no breaking down the volley technique from Hanisch and, Lalich out here. So then Gebbia and Delmonico have to dig in deep. They have to find other ways to get some points. And as you can see, there are no easy points to be had out here.
Lisa's blocking a lot of the backhands over there.
Not letting them go into the screen, Cindy. She's sort of.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
Carrie's done that twice now in this game.
Big time shot from Delmonico out of that ad court. I mean, she's much more comfortable in the ad court. As a team, that's what they're trying to figure out, and it all comes down to matchups, where, they can take out some teams the other way, and maybe don't match up as well, and all of a sudden, there's more than a spark here, Cindy, in the second set. Delmonico serving. What's her score?
2-all. Oh. Too bad.
okay, like a little bit, like
That was a
relief.
great volley by Lauren Gebbia.
Oh, that was great. But
Eyeball.
But again, you know, they got an early error in the point, which there have been so few here. And we've seen that, you know, just the pressure that Hanisch can apply, and she goes in, and you know, the hands play there. She won that beautifully.
It's a good serve by Delmonico.
See, and I do think that they have to hit the overheads with enough pace.
Yes.
You know, that they have to keep these guys, you know, deeper in the court. I think like the off-speed kind of overheads are not phasing them at all. So it's almost like they've got to keep hitting these aggressive overheads in order to keep
Wow, look at that.
Lalich and you know, Hanisch driving from just a little deeper in the court.
You know what's impressive to me, Patty, is Delmonico and Gebbia are throwing a lot of balls over the floor. That's how much they respect Lisa in that backhand. With Floor being a national champion, that's impressive.
Multiple national champion, two-time mixed national champion, husband-wife national champion. I mean, Floor has ascended in this game and just is so rock solid mentally, physically. I mean, winning nationals last year after having her little baby girl, that was quite remarkable. We're at 3-2. Floor must be winning because she's really spot on that score, Cindy.
I don't see a score from Carrie and
Carrie
Lauren.
has given us no love tonight during this match. Lauren Gebbia, no looks. Oh, there. Lauren just gave us a look. No, all joking aside. But it is the truth. No, but I just think Hanisch is quite remarkable, and her pairing up with Zabori was a thing of beauty to watch. They had a great win last year right here on this court at Nationals. They won 7-5 third set over Nicolescu and Liz Cruz, who just had a little baby boy, her third. Congrats, Liz Cruz.
Liz is such a great competitor. Look forward to seeing her back.
Class act.
She is a class act.
Pretty important game, Cindy.
I would say. And Floor serving. Oh, uncharacteristic fault.
How many errors from Hanisch in this match so far? What's your guess? 4? 5?
I was going to say 4 or 5. That's a great rip by Lauren Gebbia.
A little bit of teamwork. You can feel like as a baseline team right now, Delmonico and Gebbia are finding something. They're like getting into points and kind of dictating pace of play all of a sudden a little bit, I would say. Oh. But Delmonico had to take a rip. That was a good.
Yeah, she didn't miss by much.
Great rip cross court from Gebbia. Yeah, this is where I'll see, you know, Carrie went over to that ad court, and we know Carrie loves to be on the left of the two players at the net, Cindy.
Yes.
Where she loves placing, you know, she's fairly confident with the placement of her overheads and likes to get Lauren on top of the net. Only disadvantages, she's not quite as quick, and so then you can get caught off the net, and that was a great shot right at her feet.
Oh, great mixing it up, Carrie Delmonico. 3-all.
Yeah, and
So this change in the backcourt makes a lot of sense for Carrie and Lauren in this matchup.
And I think Delmonico just reeled Lalich in on that shot and kind of lobbed her and knew that she was going to come right back to her. You know, and that's classic Delmonico, kind of roping him in. And, Delmonico is so effective, Cindy, when she gets consecutive shots.
Yes. She likes to put a point together.
She does, from the baseline, where Gebbia is a one-hit wonder. She can just hit a winner off of one shot, where, Delmonico's offense comes a little bit later in the point. Shout out to Karen Noble, who is head of golf instruction at Fairmont Country Club over in Chatham, New Jersey. I don't know if you got to meet Karen Noble, Cindy, but she's being inducted into the New Jersey Golf Hall of Fame.
Wow.
That was just announced on Tuesday. Karen's a great gal from Chatham. Her wonderful daughters, one of her daughters is a junior Nash champ. Just one of the most incredibly positive women that you see out here. And she loves the game of paddle, plays up at Mars County, where John Milbank and Jill Fair are teaching, and just what an accomplishment. I think she was totally surprised. We just saw her come in here tonight, and I mean, what an honor for her.
And she's a good instructor?
She's a great golf instructor.
I could get her phone number if I could find it.
We both need her phone number. Don't say yours over the air, Cindy. I'll give it to her. Yeah, her daughter Nikki is a junior nationals champ with Annie Irish. They're real fun kids who play every sport, and then the thing about junior paddle, Cindy, was it was always like, oh, kids don't have any time. They have lacrosse, they have basketball, they have every single sport. Well, now paddle's gotten there, and now everybody's finding a way. And we had 264 kids playing last year's junior nationals.
So impressive.
Kids are
Patty.
making
and credit to you too for sticking with it and growing the junior game.
Well, all thanks to all the pros in New Jersey and the clubs who have welcomed junior paddle.
At Veritext, it's not just a deposition. It's the witness that will win your trial. It's the reason you became a lawyer. It's your first case as a partner. It's that case that will make you partner. It's for the families who lost something. It's for that groundbreaking patent. It's for one of the largest companies in the world, or one of the smallest. It's something that will change someone's life forever. At Veritext, it's never just a deposition. We understand it's so much more.
And we'll have live streaming of 2 courts for junior nationals this year right out of Canoe Brook, and we get a lot of support, Cindy, which makes possible making the afternoon great. We have a family tailgate party. We'll have the grills going. We have ping pong. Short Hills Club has been great in the past hosting it. We're shifted the event this year over here to Canoe Brook, and that's thanks to the New Jersey Men's League, the New Jersey's Women's League, New Jersey Women's Flex League, and our court builders, 2 of the greatest court builders in the sport. They're all great, but I think Court Pro and Riley Green Mountain exceptional for their ongoing support of junior paddle.
Awesome.
And Cindy, it's just amazing. I call up Rob Coster, Chris Kazaragi, Kim, who works for Riley Green Mountain, and they just know. They're like, well, what do you need? And I say, this is what we need. This is what we want to pull off for the kids. And they say, we'll send the check to Ann Sheedy, our executive director of APTA.
Well, I have to have a little shout out to my friends at Radley Run, Laurie Hissey and Charlotte Sikora, who's actually playing here tonight. They have one of the best junior programs in the Philadelphia area.
In the country.
They love coming to your tournament, to the junior nationals.
Oh my gosh, and those pros are amazing. They come up from Philly and serve as hut commanders, make the day special in the afternoon, always part of our awards presentations for the kids. And, Lori Hissey has led. What a wonderful example, and I love that Charlotte Sikora embraces the love of that and the love of junior paddle as well. And Radley Run, I mean, they probably have more kids who play junior nationals than any club.
Is that right?
Any club, Cindy, I think so. Okay, what's the score now? Sorry, we were talking about Radley Run. I think we're
5-3.
Still 4-3. Delmonico serving? Is that right? I might have lost the game.
Yeah, we got chatting about junior junior nationals and all the enthusiasm.
Well, we need Floor to report the score. And she did, to her credit, report the score, even though when they were down 4-3. So I believe it's 4-all. Following this women's match, we'll resume some action on the men's side. Hanisch serving. Gebbia about to rip another return of serve from that deuce court. I do love her return from that deuce court.
Yes.
Even though she missed. Cindy, huge kudos to Delmonico and Gebbia here. I mean, this thing looked like it was going to be over in 25 minutes. And I mean, I love the fight that Gebbia and Delmonico have on display.
And I love the fact that they can switch sides and be comfortable.
And this is what a great lesson for club players. Like, just, you've got to try everything. You've got to throw in the kitchen sink, and you can change matches. And they've just kind of chipped away here, and we're at 4-all, second set. I personally would love to see a third set pro flight breaker, because I just love tiebreakers in third sets.
And we just had a 14-14.
14-all the second time, and Gebbia and Delmonico pulled that out.
Wow, some great hands up there by all ladies.
Little confusion, great spot on the overhead, came out a little bit awkwardly. That's going to hurt, because I think either player could have made that shot, but neither did.
Woulda, coulda. That's a great rip.
That's just that return.
It comes back quickly, doesn't it?
Oh, my. That's a great point. It just comes off her paddle and is on your paddle before you even realize it. Making her be in this moment.
See, it just created an opportunity, didn't it?
It did, and Delmonico just stayed there. She wasn't getting anything, and then all of a sudden Lalich hit, cross court, just gave Gebbia the ball of life to rip. And that's why Delmonico just stuck with that. She didn't have to move it back and forth between Hanisch and Lalich. She just stayed on Lalich, up the line, just waiting for her to hit that cross court shot. I don't think Dave Broderick would have liked that overhead, Cindy.
Based on prior experience.
We'll leave it at that.
Oh, there we go.
And it's interesting, here's Flora playing a lot from the left position, where when she plays with Zabori is often over there much more than Hanisch has been, since Hanisch was pregnant and he came back and had the baby last year, and what I've seen of them this year. But Hanisch obviously far more experienced, but right there, the rip from Gebbia won the point. They've got
the lob, created that opportunity.
Yeah.
So they're having fun out there. That's for sure.
They're having fun, and once again, Delmonico Gebbia have a lead, up 5-4, Cindy, in the second set.
Well, let's see if Flora's going to give us a score.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
So it is the third set super breaker. And thank God Louise Cash is here because she always knows the score. So
I think we lost
screwed
our way
up on
with the junior nationals.
We did. You know, we were talking. We had so much fun talking about juniors. We apologize. All right. So, Cindy, why don't we call the score in the tiebreaker? Go ahead. It's all you. 1-0. We don't even know if that's right.
And now we're getting some pushback from the fans saying that they're not sure of the score either.
Okay, Cindy, I'm gonna get a little help for us. 1 second. So Sven Bers is going to go and get a confirmation of the score, Cindy.
Appreciate that, Sven.
It's harder than people think to talk and keep score at the same time.
Okay, we're hearing 2-0 favor of Flor and Lisa.
So Sven Bers, who is our crackerjack scorekeeper here for the women's final, confirmed that they did split sets. And Cindy, where are we now? Gebbia serving?
0-3.
What a pickup from Gebbia there. Wow. What pressure. So welcome to high-level paddle, Lisa. I think she's quite remarkable, Cindy. I've never seen someone in their first year. She's juiced. She may be a little too juiced on that volley. Hanish and Lalich are up 4-1. Third set, super breaker.
At Veritext, it's not just a deposition. It's the witness that will win your trial. It's the reason you became a lawyer. It's your first case as a partner. It's that case that will make you partner. It's for the families who lost something. It's for that groundbreaking patent. It's for one of the largest companies in the world, or one of the smallest. It's something that will change someone's life forever. At Veritext, it's never just a deposition. We understand it's so much more.
And it's starting to snow, Cindy. What a pretty sight here on the paddle courts at Canoe Brook.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
What
What a point.
Oh my gosh, what nerve. I love that little drop after the rip. That's confidence in a tiebreaker.
Some great movement on the side of Delmonico Gebbia, too.
Wow, really, really close.
Wow.
That was interesting. You know, Hanisch almost missed it overhead, and then Lalich followed it with an error.
Okay, Gebbia Delmonico up 7-6.
Sven Verge checking in, our scorekeeper, making sure we got the score correct, Cindy. And Delmonico Gebbia up 7-6. First to 15, we'll take it.
Snow's really coming down now, Patty.
You're going to have a fun ride home, Cindy. Are you staying local tonight, possibly?
You know, when you get the call to be big-time broadcaster.
Yeah, I mean, you got to step up. You do whatever it takes. Well, we look forward to seeing you with Lauren Gebbia Lauren Zink at Nationals. Condolences to Lauren's family. Her dad passed away recently. Lauren's one of the Hall of Famers, great women's talent in our sport, and we're sorry for her loss.
Yes, thank you for that. Her father put up a great fight. But
Cindy, what do we have?
8-7, favor of Gebbia Delmonico. 8-6, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're just finding a way here. This match was just lopsided one way for Lalich and Hanisch, and I mean, kudos to Gebbia and Delmonico for just grinding this thing out and just
They are
piecing
competitors.
together points that led to games that led to that second set win. I like the lob.
I mean, it just makes sense. Oh my goodness. Okay, 9-6, favor of Gebbia Delmonico. I mean, the move they made to switch sides in that second set,
Game changer.
game changer.
No. And you're Lalich, and you're out here, and you know, she's in a final, and there's pressure. She didn't come close to missing that shot in the first set. Then all of a sudden, a little doubt comes in, and all the credit to Delmonico Gebbia for turning this thing around right now. But look who's on the other side. Fleur Hanisch in the deuce court. I mean,
That's a big forehand by Fleur Hanisch.
talking about the ability to pull a rabbit out of the bag, Hanisch has done it as much as anyone in the game right now.
And to my point earlier, I mean, they're giving Fleur a fair amount of balls.
They're playing her. That was a great point, Cindy. Delmonico's serving. They're up 9-7 in this Super Raker. Yeah, but that's how much regard they have for Lalich's game and just the offense and, just a couple of errors sneaking in here.
They're going to change sides, and Delmonico Gebbia up 10-7.
At Veritext, it's not just a deposition. It's the witness that will win your trial. It's the reason you became a lawyer. It's your first case as a partner. It's that case that will make you partner. It's for the families who lost something. It's for that groundbreaking patent. It's for one of the largest companies in the world, or one of the smallest. It's something that will change someone's life forever. At Veritext, it's never just a deposition. We understand it's so much more.
Oh,
Really smart play.
all right, 10-8, favor of Gebbia Delmonico. Floor serving.
And I just think, a couple errors were sneaking into Lalich's game, and maybe Fleur just took the bet that she thought they could probably keep it together better as a baseline team, and they were smart. They were right. I mean,
She just came up with a big drive there, too.
2 points that they chose to stay back on the baseline and then won it, and we're at 10-9?
10-9, favor
10-9,
of Gebbia Delmonico.
Gebbia serving. I mean, masterful tactical plan from Hanisch right there to have the nerve to just both of them go back. Now I'll be curious if Delmonico Gebbia say, okay, we'll see.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
No, because, the errors were a little bit from them at the net. But they played it traditionally. So here we go. Delmonico Gebbia up 1 point in this super tiebreaker. First to 15, we'll take it all.
Wow. Great drive, great volley.
Up. Little confusion as to who was going to take that overhead. Delmonico wanted it. Gebbia took it. Didn't work out well.
So we're tied up. 10-all.
Great placement again of the lob because it caused the confusion between Delmonico Gebbia. And that's the thing about spotting lobs. Just not lobbing to lob, but lobbing to a spot that's going to lead to, an opening for your team. Ooh,
Well, it's good lobbing by Delmonico
really
Gebbia.
good lob. Got Lalich back behind the service line, and she was very relaxed, almost too relaxed on that overhead. And I think she's got so much talent. She was in a quandary. Does she hit a roller?
Too many
Does she hit a
opportunities.
cutter? Does she hit the ball flat? Because she had all options. She chose the wrong one, and 10 serving 11.
So this is interesting. So you know this play, Patty. Floor's on the same side as Lisa, so that she can stay on the forehand side.
Yep, and it's just to take away, to get Gebbia to hit the ball straight up the line because her power is, and her phenomenal return is the cross court. You double up on that side of the court, and that's going to deter Gebbia from hitting that ball cross court, and will take it up the line. But how fun for the crowd here to see all these tactical little adjustments. I mean,
Both women's matches
Yeah.
have been super tight. that we've been watching.
You know, and oh my Lord, what a great lob right there.
11 all. Carries. All right, that gives Lalich and Hanisch up 12-11. Carrie Delmonico to serve.
Really smooth forehand return to serve from Hanisch out of that deuce court. How fun is this? And you're looking around. I know you're concentrating on the score. I'm
so
looking
nervous
around.
I'm going to forget it.
I know. But it's so fun and looking at all the guys players. You know, all the matches are stopped. Everybody's watching this action here.
It's 12 all. Carrie Delmonico serving.
Carrie Delmonico faulting and
oh, they're going to play it over, I think. Or maybe not.
I don't know. I think they were asking someone standing there. A little confusion. So I think they're going to play it again. No, maybe not.
I think it was so losing.
All right, Cindy, good luck with the score now.
Yeah, I know we're in trouble now.
I think they made the call, then I think they were talking to someone, and I think they confirmed the call that the ball was out.
Our best guess is Flor and Lisa are up 13-12.
13-12.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. P-PAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
Okay, Flor Hanisch to serve.
Come on, Cindy. I want it to be 14-14. How great would that be?
It'd be so great. It's too good.
What a
Too
smooth
good.
stroke. Great shot. Caught Gebbia way back off the net. Couldn't come up with that little ball.
This
So
could be
we think
match
it's match point.
What a point. What a point.
Pickup. It's interesting, you know, Flores just said, come on back. Well, we're really happy to stay back on the baseline. And Delmonico and Gebbia are like, so are we. And here you have yet another tactic.
We just had a fan say, this I've not seen. 4 people back in paddle. But okay. And that's it. What a great match. 3 sets, 15-12, Flor Hanisch, Lisa Lalich
Lalich
are the winners.
Gets a win. Cindy, that was so fun watching that match, and one of our rising young stars in the game, and that's what Pro Flight, this event is so fun that you get to see these pairings that you wouldn't normally see in a tournament at this point, and
Fans just loved it.
Essex has a great one, and Lisa Lalich out there, and all the intel was that she is the real deal, and we could see it out here on display tonight. Great match for them, and kudos to Domenico Gebbia for coming back, finding a way to win that second set.
Exactly.
Really competitive, fun tiebreaker.